everyone, welcome back to another Mattel Hammond collection review. Today we're taking a look at the new Troodon. I was actually surprised to see Troodon in the Hammond collection so soon. Even before we finished the Hammond collection Raptor Squad, because Mattel absolutely loves the Raptor Squad. It seems to be their little money maker. But here we are. We have a Hammond collection Troodon. So I ended up ordering this figure off of Target's website. It retails for $14.99. And I'll leave a link down below in the description if you want to pick this figure up for yourself. And now let's just take a quick look at the packaging. On top of the card, we got the Jurassic World logo. The new True FX branding. All the figures in this current wave feature this. That means they have better paint apps and sculpt to make them more movie game accurate. Down here we have a nice render of the Troodon, Hammond Collection Troodon. Spinning it around, we got another render of the Troodon. Man, I miss the high quality, actual toy images on the side of the Hammond Collection packaging. I just feel like Mattel went a little cheap with these newer figures, well, when it comes to the packaging. And we got the Jurassic World logo down here. It should be Jurassic Park, the game from Telltale. And they did the same thing with the Lost World Raptor. It did not have the Lost World logo, but yet the Spinosaurus had the JP3 logo on it, so whatever. Over here we have a little blurb. Troodons are small carnivores with big eyes, sharp teeth, and poisonous bite. After releasing their victim, Troodons use their speed to take down much larger prey. And then we have some images of the Troodon and the other figures available in this wave. The previously reviewed Velociraptor, Moloch, and now the Troodon. So enough about the packaging. Let's crack this figure open and take a closer look. And here is the Troodon out of the packaging. Definitely a wild and weird looking interpretation of this species. I guess as of right now, to recording this video, I guess Troodon is now a valid species. I'm not going to go into the whole history of this animal because it is very convoluted. But yeah, it's cool that Mattel is giving, non-movie dinosaurs some spotlight in the Hammond collection. They are far and few between, but it's nice that they are doing that. And I think the coolest part about this figure is the purposely dead looking eye. I've had my complaints about the glass eyes on these figures. They've been improving with the last couple releases, but for the most part they kind of look dead inside, and this is supposed to look dead inside, so I just think that's kind of ironic. It has all those quills on the back and top of the head. Not like a ton of paint apps on there. You got a little bit of orange on the snout and along the back, and this nice little molded pattern all over the body. So yeah, all around a really cool and bizarre looking figure. For measurements, extending the neck all the way, this figure is 8 inches long from the tip of the snout to the tip of the tail, or 20.3 centimeters, and then extending the neck back up. This figure is about 4.5 inches tall, or 11.4 centimeters. So the Troodon, it's based from Jurassic Park, the Telltale games game, was about 6 feet long, or 2 meters. And so with those measures, I put this figure somewhere in the 1/9 scale. So yeah, it's really big to fit to that 1/18 scale the Hammond collection strives for. As a whole, I'm slightly disappointed in this figure because, Mattel has, $14.99 figures, and they have to, make them worth the price. I feel like this would have been better as a 2-pack and make 2 smaller figures that actually looked like the Troodons from the game, but that is just my humble opinion. And now let's take a look at some of the finer details on this figure, starting with the head. Already covered it earlier. The glass eye has a dead look. Now, these animals are not blind in the Telltale games. They actually have a membrane over their eyes so they can see well at night, and it gives them a glowing appearance. They look really, really creepy in the game. I actually love that look. It's going to be really hard to talk about the sculpt of this figure because it's obviously based off the Telltale Jurassic Park game, and it looks nothing like it. Just the color scheme is all wrong. It should have that nice red on the lower jaw going underneath the body, more of a lighter gray color, and some, multi-spots and striping. I really don't know what they were thinking with this figure. I just, maybe it's just like a more, Hammond Collection-esque version of Troodon, but it's obviously based off the game version, and I'm just really, really just disappointed in the overall look of this figure. On the snout, you have a little bit of orange and some nice black markings all over the head and neck. Inside the mouth, the teeth are nicely sculpted in the upper jaw and lower jaw. They've done that off-white color. You have a little bit of pink for the tongue and gums. Going down to the forearms, you have a little bit of molting on the forearms. The hand claws are not painted in. Going to the back, you have this nice row of feathers or quills down its back, with a little bit of orange dry brushing and more orange on there. I just feel like the color should be reversed. That orange should be on the underside, but whatever. You can tell I'm a little bit frustrated with this figure. And then going down to the hind legs, you get more of that molted spotting. And then as you get down to the ankles, it transitions. Nice black color with the raptor sickle claws. And then going down to the tail, a little bit more of that orange spills onto the tail, more of that black molted that does not go all the way down to the tip. So all around, it's a cool Hammond collection figure, but since it's based off the Troodon from Jurassic Park, the game, it looks nothing like it. So it's just a really frustrating figure in my eyes. Moving on, with articulation, mouth can open up that wide. It actually can open up a little bit wider if you go past it, but it breaks the gum line. The jaws can close, kind of flush, just pretty much as bad as the new Lost World Velociraptor. You do have a joint on the back of the head. It can look up that far. It can look down that far. And looking at it from the front, you do get full 360 degrees. Moving down to the neck can move down that far, and you can stick the head out. Let's get the camera to focus in on that. Yeah, the neck articulation is really cool. I wish there was with these longer figures, I wish there was another joint right here to get a much better range of motion. Instead of looks like the neck is breaking with the head. But yeah, you do get some nice rotation on that neck joint. Just wish there was an extra joint in there. And then going to the forearms, they are on a hinge joint. It allows you to swing them out, and you get about well over 90 degrees of bend at the elbow. This is actually really, really nice bend on these. Really like that, and it's on a swivel, so you can rotate that hand joint. And then for the hind legs, they are on a pivot. You can pivot the hips out to help with stability. Knees can extend that far, and they can bend back that far. That's the biggest critique with the Hammond collection. I just wish, there's a little bit more of a cutout in the back of the hip right here to allow the legs to move back a little bit further. Going down to the feet, you do have a nice hinge joint for your feet. They can go up and down, and they also can pivot from side to side. And then lastly, we do have the bendy wire rubber tail. Get nice side to side and up and down movement on that. And with that rubber wire, you can get some more articulation on that. So the articulation is on par with the rest of the Hammond collection. And, for an articulated figure, this is pretty good. Moving on with comparisons, here it is with the Hammond collection, Robert Muldoon. And like I said during the measurement segment of this review, this figure is way, way too big in the Jurassic Park game. The Troodons only came up to about waist high, and you can see this figure towers over the 3 3/4 inch figure. So yeah, I don't know, just really annoyed by this figure. Awesome toy, just what it's based off of, it's just frustrating me. Next up, we have the Attack Pack Troodon. I believe this came out with the Camp Cretaceous line a few years ago. Even though this figure does not, match how the Troodons looked in the game, it actually got the color scheme correct. That light gray with the black markings and the, bright red lower jaw and underbelly. I'd probably have been way more forgiving with this Hammond collection figure if at least sported this color scheme and just having them side by side. It is a night and day difference, and hopefully somewhere down the line, we do get a Telltale game accurate Troodon in the Hammond collection. I think that'd be really cool. And one thing I forgot to point out during when I was talking about the details on this figure, what a missed opportunity to have a glowing eye on this Troodon. I just think that would have been really cool, just to have some kind. We already did it with a mainline figure. We have a glowing Velociraptor eye with one of the figures. They could have easily done it with this Hammond collection one. So another missed opportunity from Mattel. And next up, here it is with some of Mattel's other dromaeosaurs. In the front over here, we have the Hammond Collection Pyroraptor. In the back, the Rebirth mainline Utah Raptor, Hammond Collection Blue, and Atrociraptor. And looking at the 3 Hammond Collection Raptors I have out here, yeah, the hand claws are painted in, and on the Troodon, it's not. So, yep, getting more and more aggravated with this figure the longer I review it. And lastly, here it is with its wave mates, the amazing looking Spinosaurus. the Stygimoloch, and the Lost World Velociraptor. The only one that's missing is the Stegosaurus. That figure is coming out, I think, in the next like 2 or 3 weeks. Very, very looking forward to that one. Definitely going to buy at least 3 of those. I have a little herd on my Lost World shelf. So having all 4 of these figures together, ranking them, Spinosaurus, hands down, one of the best figures ever in the Hammond collection. As far as this wave is concerned, my number 2 will be the Stygi. I think it's just, I really love the paint scheme on its head. Actually, I got to review you, don't I? Might have to get to that. I do really, really like the Lost World Velociraptor. I know some people don't like it. I actually like it, and I think the Troodon is definitely the weakest of this whole set. Great figure, just looks nothing like it's supposed to be based off of. So, final thoughts on the Hammond Collection Troodon. I vented my frustrations about this figure during this review. From a toy standpoint, this is a great figure. It's on par, with the articulation and the playability as the rest of the Hammond Collection figures. But as far as the looks, it's obviously based off the Troodon from the Telltale Jurassic Park, the game. Looks absolutely nothing like it. Like, the color schemes are wrong, the sculpt is wrong. I wouldn't even be mad at the sculpt if it at least had the color scheme of the Troodon in the game. So yeah, just a really, really weird release. I just don't know what they were thinking with it. Still a fun figure all around. It's a good toy. Still missed opportunity on the white eyes to have a glow-in-the-dark feature to at least match something from the game. As you can see, the articulation is good. It can balance really, really well on one foot. But other than that, yeah, definitely one of the more disappointed Hammond Collection figures I've picked up since the line started. Still like it. I'll probably pick up 1 or 2 more to have a pack of these, but I'm going to be pissed off every single time I do it. So other than that, like I said at the beginning of the review, you can order this figure from Target for $14.99. Link is down below in the description. So that will do it for the review. I got the Wild Roar Maiasaur. I'll eventually get that review, and I got something coming in from Holland Goods. So stay tuned for all that. And as always, if you're enjoying the content on this channel, show your support by hitting that subscription button just below the video. Each subscription helps out the channel tremendously and is greatly appreciated. And I'll see you guys for the next one.